Well, hello everyone. Thank you for watching today. Today I am calling the intercessors with insight, my television viewers, my friends and partners to attention. It is amazing what has just happened in our Congress, and you need to know it. We have had literally 98 senators on April the 7th chose to trash our Constitution once again. 98 senators chose to trash our Constitution and adopt a bill that was brought out of the Foreign Relations Committee by the Tennessee Senator Rob Corker and Democrat Senator Cardin, and they brought it to the Senate floor and unconstitutionally empowered the President of the United States, no matter which president it would be. They allowed him, through this bill, they enabled him to operate with a foreign government and negotiate a treaty without any congressional input. Totally unconstitutional. They allowed the president negotiate with the number one sponsor of terrorism in this country, and it was that act of congressional unconstitutional laws that gave unconstitutional authority that has brought us to the place that this nation is in grave danger. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do about that today. I don't want you to go away. You need to know that it is a crime to aid and abet illegal aliens and enemies, both foreign and domestic. This election won't mean anything if we don't get to the grassroots and if we don't move to remove lawmakers who have actually committed extortion, broken the laws of this land, lied to Congress, and allow a Justice Department to selectively enforce the laws. When are we going to take a stand? It's going to take prayer, faith, and action. I want to hear from everybody today that's watched this program and let me know that you are there. Call your friends and tell them Faye is on. She's serious today, calling us to attention. And I am Faye Hardin, and this is Well, welcome back. Before I get into our issues, I would like to just advise you to invest in your spiritual walk with God. There are three things that our intercessors, actually there's five, but I'm going to talk about three today, that our intercessors have that equip them to be better informed, more powerful, and united intercessors. One is the Constitution. Our ministry has given thousands of constitutions to people who ask us for them. We give groups. We've given nonprofit organizations. We give them to put out in churches. If you have not read or you do not have a constitution, I'm asking you today to contact me and ask for one or more. I just ask you to cover the postage of these, or just become a partner with me because of what we're doing to bring on board America to know the truth and the true foundation of our country before it's too late. Also, the Founders Bible. Our intercessors study and know the Founders Bible. It is a chronological order which our nation was founded based on scriptures. You need it for a study Bible. You need it to read every day and to understand that this nation was founded on the Judeo-Christian principles, and that has been twisted and it has been robbed, just like my next program, don't want you to miss it, on Social Security and how it has been robbed. The other thing is you need to know how to contact your congressman. This little book is a congressional directory. I offer it every year, beginning of the year, and it gives you the names, addresses, phone numbers, the committees of the people who actually are in the Congress, in the Senate, their addresses, as well as administrative officials, the federal agency directors, etc. It is literally a directory of the people who are running this country, and you need to understand that it's like my Bible. Paul Ryan, I've called him on several occasions since I realized that he used the omnibus bill to fund criminal activity, fund people who are endangering our country, and I guess a lot of other people, because we're giving the information out. We put it in our face fax. I send an e-blast and say, contact your representative and let him know how you feel. Well, his voicemails have been full lately, like Senator Marco Rubio's. They don't empty their voicemails. Senator John McCain, they do not empty their voicemails, and the emails they don't read any more than they read the bills that they pass, and the money that they direct to be spent without any congressional oversight. But it doesn't matter. You can contact them by mail. I want my viewers and my partners and my intercessors to understand that their addresses are also in this book. You can get it for donation. Go on my website, insightUSA.us, and order it for a small donation. It's expensive, though, because it's printed in color, but our intercessors, order them. They get them as partners' gifts. So there's 3 things today that I want to encourage you to invest in. I have other things that are out there, and we'll be talking about those on upcoming programs. But right now, invest in your prayer life. Know those that labor among you. We must revolt in what is taking place. What I'm going to reveal to you today, you won't hear on another Christian broadcasting program. You won't hear in the pulpits. You won't hear most of it even on conservative talk shows or anything else, because it is substance, it is depth. And if we do not take a stand against what this Congress is doing to enable the enemies of this country and to empower them with funding, nothing will change with this election. So don't let the twisting take place. Don't let the meanings of the words that are being twisted. Don't let the deception of these candidates. I laugh sometimes when I see some of the spots, especially Marco Rubio's spots. We've seen it before in Florida, and we see what he says and who he says he is and who he really is and what he really does and what he really doesn't do. But I'm a Floridian, and in your state, so it's our states that we need to believe God for. So go to my website, insightUSA.us, make a donation today and say, Faye, I stand with you, and we are not going to tolerate unconstitutional laws that the lawmakers didn't write or read to control our lives. We are not going to allow executive orders, unconstitutional controls, to be funded by a Congress that refuses to oversee the way money is being spent, and especially since they are announcing that Social Security, cost of living for seniors receiving Social Security will not happen this year. But look at what is happening, and the waste, the fraud, the extortion. That's what you're finding out on this program. So I'm going to tell you in just a moment what Implementation Day that John Kerry announced when he released $150 billion to the number one sponsor of terrorism, state sponsor of terrorism in the world, plus a lot more, was loose that day because our Congress enabled the President and the Secretary of State to aid and abet our enemies. Don't go away. I'm going to prove it to you. I'll be right back. Hi, I'm Faye Hardy, and I'm preparing our intercessors to assume the responsibility God's given us in 2016. Blanket America with the gospel. Don't miss this month's Partner's Gift, Faith to Move Mountains. This is by Judge Hal Moraz, an attorney and counselor at law in Georgia. He's also a judge. It's a powerful book. You have to grow to be an intercessor. For those that'll give a $50 monthly gift, we need partners. We want to send you this month's Partner's Gift, Faith to Move Mountains. You've got to build your faith. Or if you would just like to make a one-time gift of $100 and ask for Faith to Move Mountains and become one of our prayer warriors that's going to take America for God. If you want to keep up with current events, have a Bible study and prayer points every week that will allow you to pray with our network, Intercessors with Insight, for 2 hours per week. Either you can do it conferencing calls with friends, you can do it with your family, you can actually begin to lead a prayer team for me in your area. We'll tell you exactly how to do it. You will get the Face Facts prayer bulletin each week. I write it each week. And this last week, I could hardly sleep at night when I watched the Secretary of State make his announcement that they had decided to have an implementation day for Iran. I watched his lies. I saw his deceit, because I already knew a little bit about John Kerry and his relationship with the Iranians before he made that announcement. Actually, John Kerry, the negotiator of Iran, has been friends with John Kerry for years. His daughter, who is a doctor, married an Iranian physician, and the negotiator's son was the best man at their wedding, and I believe that was in 2009. I actually have the pictures, and this is why you need to sign up. And our prayer bulletin will come to you if you will donate and cover the cost and the expenses. I mean, the cost of the newsletter and the postage. Of course, I'd love for you to be a partner and help us do more. But this was in our Face Facts dated January the 18th. If you'd like to have a copy of it, you can request it. It shows John Kerry's wedding and the son of the negotiator that John Kerry has been working with, the chief negotiator, which is in this picture. It was his son that was at John Kerry's daughter's wedding in 2009. Which leads me to believe that they have been friends for a long time, and it was no surprise that there would be a treaty. What was a surprise that our Congress, April the 7th, 2015, voted 98-1 to give the president the authority, unconstitutional authority, to negotiate a treaty with a foreign government. That was the surprise to me, that they could actually do this and get away with it. No oversight. Congress, hey, as long as they get their vacations, their holidays, their days on maybe 2-3 days, some weeks they actually work. But the price of a congressman is exorbitant, and they're getting away with aiding and abetting enemies of this country and funding those bills that they passed. The Secretary of State, what did happen this last week, I was watching CNN, or I was turning the channels really, and it showed the Secretary of State, John Kerry, meets Saudi Foreign Minister Adel Al-Jabrer, I guess. I don't speak Arabic, but that's the best I can do with it, at the State Department in Washington, September the 2nd, 2015. This foreign minister was telling Wolf Blitzer, giving him a story that made me just literally cringe. And it was like Wolf Blitzer all of a sudden went to another planet. He did not understand what this foreign minister was actually saying, but I did understand it, and I want you to understand it, because we must not go along with what has taken place. We must deal with unconstitutional laws that are being made by lawmakers. On the program, he was questioning the Iran deal, and he said, we don't have confidence in Iran. And I already had the information that Kerry was involved with the negotiator, Iranian negotiator, and it says, Kerry to Iranian counterpart, Obama administration can help skirt congressional visa restrictions. Our governors basically should revolt because of this information and these comments. Again, the Saudi Arabia minister, he said he worried Iran will support terrorism and instability in the region. We don't have confidence in Iran, he said. The world is watching Iran for signs of change, hoping it will evolve from a rogue revolutionary state into a respectable member of the international community. But Iran, rather than confronting the isolation it has created, and he gave the terrorism activity of Iran, which I haven't seen anyone, even the candidates for president, and especially our State Department or our media, give the information that this Saudi gave to Wolf Blitzer, who literally was on another planet. He didn't hear a word the man said, and he knew it. But this is what he reminded Wolf Blitzer of concerning the nation, that the negotiation of the implementation of a treaty with no congressional oversight. They didn't read it, they didn't write it, but they funded it. Since the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Iran was backed an array of terrorist groups. These groups have fostered unrest in Iraq and the oil-rich Gulf kingdoms, killed Iran's enemies in Europe, struck at enemies like Israel and the United States. Most infamously for Americans, Iran has backed the Lebanese Hezbollah, provided it with hundreds of millions of dollars, sophisticated arms, and advanced training. Among its many operations, Hezbollah in 1983 bombed the U.S. Embassy and the Marine Barracks, hosting U.S. peacekeepers in Beirut, killing 17 embassy officials, 241 Marines. And Iran has also backed Hezbollah in numbers of operations against Israel, including a 2012 bus bombing in Bulgaria that killed 5 Israeli tourists and the bus driver, and has given money and weaponry to Hamas, which has used these to attack Israel in repeated clashes. Tehran has also quietly maintained links to Al-Qaeda itself and hosting several important figures though also restricting their activities. For Iran, ties to terrorists serving multiple purposes. Ideologically, Tehran also believes that the terrorist goals, number one, to spread Iranian-style Islamic states, to overthrow an apostate regime, to battle Israel, and so on, and they were the right ones. And this is what our Secretary of State and President just released $150 billion to, while they had just taken in our sailors, put them on their knees, hands behind their back, and they had to bow to Allah and apologize. Do you feel safe? I would encourage you today to get my DVD on Obamacare, The Untold Story. We uncovered in our research who wrote this bill and why. It merges the amnesty bill with the Obamacare bill for the sole purpose of establishing a one-party system. You see the people and the faces. It was not the Congress. It was unconstitutional, and this DVD will be a life changer for you, and you'll understand why seniors must get the facts. The DVD is available. Senator Ted Cruz says that because of this disastrous law, millions of Americans are out of work or unable to find full-time work. Seniors are dying at the hands of Obamacare.
Get Obamacare, The Untold Story DVD today. Call Faye now.
I need for all of my viewers to get the Faye's Facts entitled Implementation Day, and it is a January the 18th publication. I headlined it Implementation Day because I woke up early, like 4 in the morning, after realizing what had just taken place and doing some research. And I woke up just almost frozen because our Constitution has been so violated. And this is what the Constitution says. According to Article 2, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution, the President shall have power by and with the advice and consent of the Senate to make treaties, provided 2/3 of the senators present it concurrently, meaning the President can negotiate a treaty with a foreign nation, but it shall not be binding unless and until it is submitted to the U.S. Senate and 2/3 of the members in attendance agree. What we've just seen is the Senate took it upon itself to vote 98-1 to trash our Constitution and enable the President, without any congressional involvement, to negotiate a treaty with the #1 sponsor of terrorism, state sponsor in the world, plus there's more. What I saw is, if the $1.1 trillion omnibus bill can be brought out of a dark room and made into law, funding the enemies of this country through executive orders the Congress never saw, never read, if Obamacare, which was never read, never written by the Congress, can be voted in and implemented as law, if the amnesty bill, the Rubio amnesty bill, could be implemented, which it was by the Senate, without them reading it or writing it, there's a high five going on here. And what is next? Implementation Day. When will Obama use the power of his pen to declare America is a Republic of Islam? When will he use the power of his pen to declare Sharia law the law of the land? And based on the record of the President and this Congress, the Justice Department and Homeland Security, who can stop him? My friends, we cannot turn our heads anymore. I need for you today to write me and say, Faye, I'm going to sponsor a program in my area. Our programs run from $600 to $1,500 a month. I need your support. We must raise up the prayer power to bring down the enemies in this country who base everything they do on a twisted mind, created by Saul Alinsky, Rules for Radicals, dedicated to Lucifer. You can't sit there anymore. Whether you vote, whether you're political, whether you're Pentecostal, whether you're no-costal, it doesn't matter. If you love America and you want to stay free, this Congress must hear from you. There's got to be a way for the people of this country. I believe it's the governors that need to take the responsibility to recall every elected official in their state who have passed or helped unconstitutional laws get passed. I believe pastors and ministers need to show up in front of their offices and let them know Islam will never rule this country. To aid and abet our enemies is a crime. I need your support. Hi, I'm Faye Hardy, and I'm preparing our intercessors to assume the responsibility God's given us in 2016. Blanket America with the gospel. Don't miss this month's Partner's Gift, Faith to Move Mountains. This is by Judge Hal Moraz, an attorney and counselor at law in Georgia. He's also a judge. It's a powerful book. You have to grow to be an intercessor. For those that'll give a $50 monthly gift, we need partners. We want to send you this month's Partner's Gift, Faith to Move Mountains. You've got to build your faith. Or if you would just like to make a one-time gift of $100 and ask for Faith to Move Mountains and become one of our prayer warriors that's going to take America for God.
Faye wants to hear from you. Her desire to see America come out of exile is raising up one of the most powerful, informed, anointed, and united prayer networks in America for America. She is organizing Christians for the U.S. Constitution to give uncompromising believers back their voice and witness. If this program has blessed you and you believe in what Faye is doing, contact her, pray with and for her, partner with her. She would love for you to host an Insight rally in your church or city. Organize an Intercessors with Insight prayer team or join one. For a complimentary pocket-sized constitution or Faye's fax, call or email Faye 407-265-0700 or faye.usainsight@gmail.com. Write Insight USA, P.O. Box 917689, Longwood, Florida 32791.